Hi, I am Jake Whitt from Jeff Couch's Introduction to Ethics class, and today I'm going to exemplify through my own story Chapter 14 out of Chuck Gallagher's book, Second Chances. In Chapter 14, Chuck Gallagher talks about his hardships in life, being at his lowest point, and thinking, what's the point? I'm just going to give up. And in my own personal words, I said, when you're at your lowest, or when you feel like giving up, you give up altogether. Life begins to feel like a hurdle, one after the other, and when you're at your lowest, you think to yourself, I just give up. What's the point in putting forth effort into jumping over this hurdle to experience a new one? And where am I going with this? So you give up altogether. So, throughout my life, or when I was young, I moved schools quite often. I moved, I think, from 4 different schools. And so, when my mom met my stepdad when I was in middle school, they got married and we became a big old happy family. And I felt comfortable for once in my life. I felt, this is home. I'm not going to move schools again. This is permanent. When I was in high school, growing up into an adult and trying to find who I am, he went and killed himself. And for anyone, that's devastating. But for a kid who has experienced not just losing someone, but being taken out of an environment to be placed in another one, is devastating. But nonetheless familiar for me, but still devastating. So I was at my lowest point. That completely rocked my world. In the midst of me trying to find myself, I lost myself. So I just didn't bother for a while, for a few months actually. I questioned everything, and it was my lowest point. And so the whole point of this is so that I can tell someone, at that time, I didn't think about the future. I didn't think about what am I going to be like in 5 years. All I thought about was the past and the present, what's going on right now and what I've experienced before. And it doesn't have to be if you lose someone. It could be anything that can traumatize you and bring you to your lowest point. I want people to realize, don't focus on yourself at this point. Life is an experience. You're going to make mistakes, and you're going to experience mistakes. You're going to experience accidents, and you're going to be hurt. And you can't beat yourself up over something that you couldn't have changed or something that is in the past. And I want people to realize, as bad as it may seem right now, every storm runs out of rain. There is always light at the end of the tunnel. And so this chapter stuck out to me the most because after he passed away, I knew that going from my past of being alone or feeling alone because of moving schools quite often and losing friends and trying to gain friends again and losing them again, I felt alone. And so I found my purpose after the loss of my stepfather. I knew that my purpose was to help people. I want people to realize, no matter how bad it seems, it's always going to get better. And also, I don't want people to feel like they're alone in this world, because they never are. You're never alone, and that's why this chapter stuck out to me the most, because when I lost him, I felt alone. And then as time went by, I realized, I was never alone. I had friends and family who were there by me, but I was too focused on myself and what was going on at that time to even think about anything other than myself. So, thank you.